Gabriel George Quanasquich Tanitsanat Athnats Antha Salewatosh Huelmuch. I'm Gabriel George and I'm a member of the Tsleil-Waututh Nation. So this story in particular I learned from my late father, Leonard George. And he said that his father, my grandfather, Chief Dan George, referred to our people, sometimes the Tsleil-Waututh people, as the people of the sunset. And he said, my late grandfather said it was his father that every day he'd tiwish to Siakwam. He had a prayer to the sun. He would give thanks to the sun every day, thanking the sun for coming today, thanking the sun for warming his children, and asking the sun to come again tomorrow. And then my grandfather used to sing that prayer sometimes. He would sing it and he kept that going. And in our language, the Siakwam is our word for sun. And it's an important to our people every day. My late great grandfather had this prayer to the sun and giving thanks to the light and energy and blessings of the sun. And so, you know, when I found myself on the western parts of our territory, the western parts of Burrard Inlet, or even here where our reserve is, you know, you look to the west and most of what you see is water. And when you see that sun go down on the water, you understand what my grandfather was talking about. Or if you're out, like I said, on the western parts of our territory, you know, in around English Bay or Stanley Park and those areas, and you watch the sun go down, you know, there's something in that moment that it brings you somewhere else, or it brings you a feeling, you know. Even when you go down there today, I think about my late great grandfather being there and praying like that as the sun's going down into the horizon, you know, on the water. And today you still go there and you'll see, you know, hundreds of, sometimes thousands of Vancouverites down on the beach there and watching the sun go down and just enjoying that special time of day. So even though it's something that comes from way back, I don't think, you know, that feeling or that gravity to that pull to go and watch the sunset, it's still there. So this piece in particular that was woven by Ange, it captures that moment, you know. When I shared the story, part of what I expressed is, you know, when you stand down there on the beach, particularly near the West End, and that was an area for our people that was, you know, there's a lot of those streets that are in the West End and in the downtown core of Vancouver were hunting trails for our people. So it was a significant area. But when you go out onto the water there in the West End and you watch the sun go down, you know, even here, every day it's different colors that you'll see. But it's always something that it's showing, that nature is showing us through the vibrance and the colors. And I think that Ange has more than captured the spirit of that feeling in that moment. And when I see that weaving, it brings me to that moment and that brightness and that, you know, also it's the end of a day. I hope that for those that see it, that the artwork, you know, just gives them a time to, and a space to reflect and take in what they see. And I think it's important, you know, there's so much going on in our world now, and there's so much that happens in such a short time that it's also important to be mindful and to be grounded. And I think that for me, when you behold art, it's important to do that. And for myself, you know, when I behold this creation that Angela has made from part of our family's history, you know, I think about our Siouan Ash, our ancestors who came before us and who endured so much, but yet we're standing in that spot, that beach, watching the same sunset that I'm watching. And so there's a feeling of continuity And then I look back to my Smanam. Smanam in our language is our descendants. And that can be anyone in our family that's younger than us, the ones that are living and the ones yet to come. And I know that they will behold the sunset as well. And so, you know, in our journey, in our time, as we're warmed by the sun, we have to make the best of it, not only for ourselves, but with that remembrance of our ancestors, and hopefully leaving behind something that is better for our Smanam.